Hello everyone and welcome to the latest business chat with me, Glenys Chatterley from EBN, that's Effective Business Network. Today I've got with me the fabulous Jackie Fletcher, and I've picked that word very specifically, and she's going to tell us all about her amazing story. And I'm really looking forward to this because it's just fantastic. So Jackie, tell us, welcome to Business Chat, and tell us a little bit about your story.
Thanks for having me. So 4 years ago, I've always been overweight, but 4 years ago, I'd reached my highest weight ever. And I weighed in, this is me, at 16.5 stone. And I came across a book which set me on a whole different journey and completely changed my life. And I feel better now in my 50s than I did in my teens. And I'm not joking, because I was quite sick in my teens. So feeling fabulous. So then last year, I decided that I wanted to help others achieve that fabulousness. So I started my business called Fabulously Keto. And what I do is I work with mainly women business owners who want to make a change to their health, their weight and their life. They knowing that things are not quite right and they need to make some changes. So I help them do that.
Fantastic. Well, you're looking amazing. I mean, I met Jackie a number of years ago, and then I didn't see her for a few years, and then I saw her again, and it was like, wow, what a just transformation. You know, you were always fabulous, now you're slimmer and fabulous.
Well, actually, I haven't lost any weight since that time, Glenys. So that's really interesting that things have changed, but my weight has stayed pretty stable for the last couple of years.
Yeah, but you look, I think it's that you just look better and happier and just better. What can I tell you? Always fabulous, but even more so now. So tell me a little bit about, if I was somebody who was thinking, I need somebody to help me to lose weight, what questions might they be asking themselves or of you? And you choose, give me top three, and you choose what questions you think they might be.
Well, first of all, I think it's not just about weight, it's about health. So people quite often struggle. They have all these little health niggles, I call them niggles, that mean that it interferes with their life. And maybe they've been to the doctor and the doctor has said, no, you're fine. And that just means that they're not sick enough yet for the doctor to be able to help them. Yes. So somebody who's struggling with these things, and it could be joint pain, it could be getting breathless walking up the stairs, it could be, you can't bend down as easily as you used to, and all those things that you need to sit and ask yourself, do I need to make some changes? And if the answer is yes, then what changes are you going to make? Because we know that diets don't work. We've been doing it for years and they just do not work. They work for a very short period of time. And then within time, you start to put that weight back on. So then the question becomes, do you want to make a change that's permanent? And if you do, what is that change going to be? So the way I help clients is to make a lifestyle change, and it seems very scary, because if you're not going to do something for a long time, that seems very scary. But I think the thing to do is just be prepared to try it for a month, 2 months, 3 months, think of it short term. Yeah. And then when you start to feel those changes, you probably don't want to go back to the way you felt before. So I think, those sorts of things. So are you willing to make a change for, say, 3 months to see if it works? And if the answer to that is yes, then maybe give it a try.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. It's that because as you know, I've lost a lot of weight and I've not done it your way, I've found my way. But I think that one of the things that I see works is people finding the thing that they can commit to, because it's not just about a quick fix. It's not, I need to drop half a stone so I can get into that frock for that wedding. It's a much more fundamental part of your life. And it's everything, because you know, unlike everybody else, you do need food, and you've got to eat it at fairly regular basis or else you die. So your life is very much sort of focused on food, you know. So I think that's the thing that those of us, I always think of myself as somebody who's addicted to food. And I think unlike other addictions, and I'll probably have people screaming at the screen for this, but it's one of the few things that you can be addicted to that you absolutely have to have. Yeah. It's just managing it in a way that works for you. So yeah.
So food addiction is a real thing.
Yeah.
Not everybody has it. And the bigger thing is probably sugar addiction. And when I say sugar, I don't just mean sugar as in the white stuff. I mean sugar as in any food that breaks down into sugar once your body digests it, which is a huge number of things that we eat. And there is a real addiction. And I'm pleased to say I don't have that addiction, but there are lots of people that do, and they just have to not eat the things that trigger that. And what's really interesting is if you do brain scans of people that do have a sugar addiction or a wheat addiction, and you do a brain scan of someone who has a cocaine addiction or an alcohol addiction, the same pathways light up in the brain.
Wow.
As with sugar and wheat and as with alcohol and cocaine. So it really is hijacking our brain.
Yes, I think that's the thing. And it's I know that people say to me, what was the minute where you thought I've got to do it? Well, I've always been having those minutes. I just, you know, like you said, I was great at going on diets. I was really successful, but I was even better at coming off diets and putting on back the weight that I'd lost plus a bit more for luck, you know. So I usually ask people, why do you do this rather than something else? So, but I'll ask you the question, why is it that you decided this was the thing for you?
Just because I love it. I love the way, as I said before, I love the way I feel. I do feel fabulous. And I think I've always been, although it hasn't always been what I've been doing, but I think I like helping people. So I've done other things in my life where that has come up as well. And so it just seemed, I never get fed up talking about it. I could talk about it all day and all night and bore everyone to tears. But for me, it's great. So I just love what I do. And I love seeing the results in people and the results that they didn't necessarily think that they were going to get. So that's even better as well. So I've recently had one client who said, I can sleep better at night because that pain in my hip has gone. I didn't even know she had a pain in her hip, but the pain has gone. Someone else was saying, I can go for a walk and I don't need my leg brace anymore. So there's all sorts of things that happen as a consequence.
I think also it's that moment where you see somebody doing it themselves. You know, they've almost left you behind because they know how to do it now, and they feel comfortable with the process. I think I think it's amazing, and I just think you have done amazing. So let's talk a little bit about being in business, because you were saying, I could talk all day about it. Well, for me, any business owner can, because you know, ad nauseum, because if you're not that passionate about your subject, I don't know how you stay in business, you know, because it's a hard road sometimes. And the only thing that keeps you going is either bloody mindedness or the fact that you can't not do this. You know, you want to do this. So if you were starting again, say, you know, magic wand, you'd never done anything, what advice would you give to people who were thinking of setting up their own business?
Well, I think initially, and you said everybody loves the business they're in, and I don't think that's true. I think we sometimes fall into things because that's what we've done in the past. There's various reasons that we go that we're in a business in a particular area. And I think if you had the choice, I would definitely really think about what is the one thing that you love to do? How can you monetize that? And do people want it? You know, is it something that is wanted by the population, really, if you can sell it? And then do that thing, whether you are trained to do that or not. So maybe, let me give you an example. Say, for example, you have all your life worked in HR, but you actually, that isn't your thing. You don't feel passionate about it. It's not the thing you want to do, but you want to start your own business. Then look around you and see, what is it that I want to do? And there might be things, it might be something to do with your hobby, which it was for me. It might be something completely different, but I would really, really explore what that thing is that you'd love to do, and do that rather than the thing that you've always done.
I think that is true. I think I meet a lot of people who say, oh, I was doing this and now I do this. And one of the most extreme was somebody who had worked in the city for forever and came out and became a painter and decorator. And he said, I love painting and decorating. I've always loved doing it. And I just thought, I'm fed up of doing this, so I'll go and do something I want to do for the rest of my working life. So yeah, I meet a lot of people. I also had a colleague who he was a gynae consultant, and he retired, and became a website designer. And you just think, oh my goodness, yes, it was. Yeah, I mean, people do that. And I think, yes, I think you're right. Some people fall into what they've always done. But I would suggest that that thing about, if you're going to make a big leap into self-employment, at least do it something that you really, really want to do, you know.
And that might take time to figure that out. And so allow yourself that time to figure it out.
Yes, I mean, it's ideally having enough money as a backup so you can do what you want to do when you want to do it. I left the corporate world with no clue what I was going to do, but I just knew it wasn't that anymore. You know, I'd had enough, and yes, they paid me very, very, very well. And I had all the trappings of, you know, the parking space in London and all that malarkey, but wasn't enough, wasn't having fun. So what else would you suggest to somebody who was thinking of doing their own business?
Good question. So I think when you're starting out, you tend to do everything yourself. And that isn't always, it might be the best use of your money, but it's not necessarily the best use of your time. So I would look to outsource as much as you can. You don't have to employ people, but you can outsource lots of things so that you're not spending that time doing the things where you'd be better off putting your time into something else to actually grow the business. So that could be a bookkeeper, it could be a VA, it could be, I can't think of anything else at the moment.
IT, you know, and all of that. I think it's all of that, you know, you can feel that you've got to do it all. And the reality is that you don't have to do it all. And you're right, it's that balance between, people say, well, I've not got the money. But the thing is, if you're not doing that you don't do very well, and you pay somebody else to do it, they will do it better, more efficiently, and it won't cost you as much as the time you have spent not making any money while you learn that particular thing. I mean, I outsourced absolutely everything, and I pretty much did from day one. I mean, one of the things I get from networking is that group of suppliers who may not be my suppliers, but I know that if I need some advice or information, I know somebody who I can go to who will say, yes, that's something I can help you with. You know, that's what I've always got. I mean, I get a lot of things from networking. I wouldn't, obviously, having a networking company, I would want to be getting lots of things from networking. So Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And it's about balance. It's, you know, maybe
yes.
you can't outsource everything, but just start where you can.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. And people, they say, well, I genuinely can't afford it. Have another think about that. Just see how you can work that, because you're better getting an expert to do it than fiddling around with it yourself and probably getting it wrong. So tell me something about what you do in your spare time.
Other than talking about my
Yeah,
YouTube.
yeah, but you must do something else occasionally.
Well, I'm not a great TV watcher because, as in terrestrial TV, I never have been, even when I was really young.
Yeah.
So I do sometimes watch a series on maybe Netflix or some sort of series.
Yeah.
So, but not very often.
No.
And more so with my kids, we'll sit and watch something together, and that might just be for an hour. Other things I enjoy doing. I'm really quite a quiet person, so I enjoy reading. I enjoy doing jigsaws. I enjoy just spending time with my family and my friends. So that's, a big chunk of what I do.
What's the genre of reading? What sort of area of?
American crime novels.
Fantastic.
So
Yes.
things like Lee Child, all the run-of-the-mill people, Michael
Yeah.
Connolly. I'm reading a David Baldacci series at the moment, and I love them to be series. So if
Yes.
there's more than 4 or 5 books in the series, then even better.
Yes. I was, and terrible thing, I now can't remember her name, but I was reading somebody who does she was going to do the A to Z.
Sue Grafton.
There you go. And she died just before she got to Z. Her daughter said, we're not going to write it for her because she'll come back and haunt us if we do. She didn't get there. That's how life is sometimes. But yeah, it was, I like something that I don't have to think too much about, because I think in everything else that I'm doing, I like something that transports me a little. At the moment, I realised I read a lot of, I've read a lot of Terry Pratchett, and I realised that I'd got gaps. So my beloved bought me all the books to fill the gaps. And then I forgot about them. I put them in the stack of books that I've got, and I came across them about a month ago. I'm having such pleasure at the moment because I'm filling all the gaps in with all these books that I've found. It's wonderful. Yeah.
My husband's really into Terry Pratchett, and
he's marvelous.
I have read quite a few, and I probably need to go back and start again. Yes,
because there are things that you forget. You forget, and you come across it, and the joke goes a different way, So yeah, I'm a great fan of Terry Pratchett. A friend of ours who's a humanist was privileged enough to do his funeral, and he got the gig, he said, because they interviewed about 6 people, and he has elfin things written on his arm, and they liked the idea that he was into that. So yeah, he was very privileged to do that. But yeah, great man, gone too soon,
Yes.
So thank you for your time. This has been as fabulous as I knew it was going to be. So, and you're looking just wonderful. It's fantastic.
Thank you for having me.
Well, yeah, it's been too long. We've been trying to get together for ages, but full diaries, busy women. What can I tell you? That's how life is a lot of the time. So that's it for this session. Thank you for listening and watching this business chat. If you want to do something that's really kind, then please watch to the end so we don't mess with the algorithms. Subscribe, comment, like, tell your friends, and most importantly, come back again and see who else might be talking to me. Thanks, Jackie. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks, Glynis.